Like, yeah, Billy Mitchell has a thing in his asshole that controls barrel timing and Donkey Kong. I mean, we all know that.
Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, Billy Mitchell.
All right, look, that's one for the fucking, fucking whatever they are, the weirdos on Twitch who play like fucking Dark Souls with weird controllers. Because
What, playing with like wireless anal beads?
well, yeah, some kind of anal thing.
Well, there's a guy called Rudism from New Zealand, and he makes controls out of everything possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, the thing of it is
I
that
imagine he could.
there's just getting the control made is one thing. The artistry here is in learning to control it.
Oh no, he would 100%, dude. He's anything you can think of. Like, he's played Call of Duty with, like, actual guns, like Nerf guns and stuff, and like.
Yeah, but I mean, like, developing, because like anyone can clench, but I'm guessing there's got to be some fucking. I mean, I'm not sure if it's motor control exactly, if it's in a fucking sphincter, but like, there's got to be some fine control elements. I mean, you need a few button presses at least. You can't just have on and off. This isn't a binary situation.
Oh no. He'll have like a localized arse cluster of nerves that he can tweak. Just.
Because thinking about it, like, sitting there now, it's like, all right, like, I think maybe, but like, maybe I'm just like clenching the same bits and paying attention to different parts. It's like
Possible.
Is this enough to get me through fucking Elden Ring, which I suppose will be the one that everyone's playing now. Yeah. Every time I hear it, I just keep thinking, "Smell the ring," which is like, well, it comes from that fucking Spinal Tap joke of like one of their albums being "Smell the Glove,"
Right.
and the cover of it is what they're getting in trouble for, and it's just like a woman on a leash with like a glove being shoved in her face. And fucking Fran Drescher is trying to explain to them how that might be perceived as sexist. That's another one of those movies where I saw it probably at not the most age-appropriate times, but like lots of it's just really fucking funny. Like, stuck in a tube, not able to get out is funny. The tiny fucking Stonehenge and the dwarves is funny. I mean, Smell the Glove is fucking funny, but there's big parts of it you're not going to appreciate until you're a little bit older. Smell the Glove. It's in there with, like, Touch the Hot Plate, which was like a early fucking shit period Simpsons joke, but fuck, it got me. Hey, where are you from? Well, I'm a paralegal, and touch the stove. Touch the hot plate. I think it was touch the stove. I gotta double check that now.
I don't even know.
It's like a TV show that comes on when it's like, I think it's around the season 15 period. So it's right when it was just like, all right.
Okay. That's higher than I thought.
No, it's like the show, like, people have different fucking things about it, but like the really bad episodes started in around season 10 or 11. I can't quite remember. I know season 10 had some real late gems, like Skinner's Sense of Snow is a fantastic episode and has an actual plot from start to finish. Well, sort of to finish. But like it's a solid fucking episode. And then, after that it was like there's like Day of the Jackanapes and like the grifting episode, like Grift of the Magi and shit, where it's just like, episodes ending with, hey, everybody surfs up.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you don't care anymore. Not even trying. Like, it's like, I'll bring it up a bit. It's like that thing about how, Conan O'Brien could get like a joke not working and turn it into a good joke. And it's like, you get to do that when a lot of the jokes do work.
Yeah.
You don't just get to not be funny and make that the joke.
Yeah. That's how most shows fucking end. You stop being funny? Okay, you're gone. Sorry.
And then like, start making jokes about how like this isn't funny. It's like, all right, that'll be funny for one more season. But like, someone's gonna have to have an idea. Like something's gonna have to happen. I've been in that writer's room just pitching major changes to the fucking story world. Come on, you did it in season 1. They got like a dog in the first episode.
Yeah. Which wasn't the first episode.
Yeah. It still blows my mind that like the intended first episode was the Babysitter Bandit. They're so lucky that it didn't work out that way. Like, they're so lucky they started with anything else. I mean, it winds up being this amazing fucking thing of, like, this almost, like, for its period, almost anti-sitcom, starting with a Christmas special. It's just innately really fucking funny. Australia started with Bart Gets an F, which is a great episode to start with. That's a fantastic introduction to the series.
You know what? I don't really like Christmas episodes of nearly any TV shows. I don't know why. I really don't. The one that stands out the most for me is just Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Did you fuck my mom, Santa?
What?
Did you fuck my mom? Did you fuck her? Did you fuck her, Santa? Did you fuck her? Just biting him fucking on the neck. It's just like...
I mean, that's generally the way you gotta do it. It's either a Christmas show, which is gonna be good for kids, and fine. But you can't have a show that's ostensibly, like, even one that's, like, largely for, you know, family show. It's like, all right, you know. But, like, if you're gonna have it, like, at least fucking, you know, what was it, the nanny had an animated one because she got bonked on the head and dreamt it. Like, fine, you know, at least that's something. At least they, you know, they had an idea and they went along with it, and the fucking little dog could talk and everything. It's like, all right, that was, you know.
It's creative.
Yeah, it was creative. Someone had a fucking creative idea.
That show was fucking so good. Like, it is ridiculous how well it holds up, like, still watching it to this day.
Na, 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 na. I keep meaning to download one of those soundboard apps for my phone. And I really want that little music, like, sting on it, the little light motif of just na 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 na. I wonder if anyone's done that on, like, fucking... I have to double check. Because I reckon I could book... If it hasn't already been done, and there's a solid chance that it has, I want to launch an app that's just called the N-Pass. And it's for when you want to say the N-word, but for various reasons can't. You push this button, and it plays a pre-recorded thing of Samuel L. Jackson saying it. And so then it's okay.
I think if you contacted Samuel L. Jackson, he would be involved with it.
Look, I'm not... It might be a sound-alike, you know. I'm sure, like, we'll find someone on Cameo. You know.
We'll get Genuel Matson. Genuel Jackson.
Because I think I could get a lot of that sold before I was sent a cease and desist. And then fine, I'm just going to run away. Like, that's okay. I'll just be like, hey, stop this. Okie dokie. I made my money. Toodaloo.
So today we're driving around. It's a vlog day. I'm not very well, so we're not doing much. It's been...
Amber's got a sore throat and a bad back.
It's been a rough time.
Be saying anything or doing anything. So are we not, like, actually even going... Are we not recording or anything?
No, we're recording.
Oh, okay, no, this, yeah. No, just
no, we're
game
not.
or anything.
No, games on Thursday, you fool. Sundays.
I fucking forget. You know.
Thursday is the day where people have to work, so we get to play. Because I don't want to see your damn ugly kids.
Yeah, I made the mistake. I had to go get something from U-Mart, which is like... I love the Mansfield U-Mart because it's like the perfect U-Mart fucking paradox of it is, of all the ones I've been to, which include like I think 2 others, hands down the best U-Mart. It's lightning fast. There's like more stuff than are necessary. The interior is wonderfully air conditioned and looks kind of like the smoking area in a bar. And probably because of all this, it's in one of the least accessible places you can possibly get. Like, it's insane, because it's in a weird industrial area in fucking Logan, like, which is not easy to get to. Like, the bus that goes past it goes once an hour. That's how little anybody cares, yeah. That's how little, on a weekday, you know? That's how little anybody cares about this place. It's like, no one gives a shit. It is in it's like past a Bunnings, and it's past a big Bunnings too. Like one of the fucking ones where you can just go in and buy like an acreage of lawn just in the fucking garden section. Like one of the, you know, the fuckers. They have different ones, and they're all big, but there are ones that are like clearly not very well thought out. You know?
Oh, dude, like, come on, stay in your fucking lane, cunt. Like, I don't. How do people this bad at driving? It really blows my mind. Just drift over. It's fine. Don't worry about anyone else. Oh, you wanted to come to this lane. Wow.
If only there were a thing on your fucking car that would in some way indicate intentions.
Yes.
And like this fucking, so you go past the Bunnings.
Yeah.
And you gotta go over like a bunch of hills. And there's like a quick choice liquor barn, like one of the big blue ones, but it looks like it's abandoned. And then you gotta go down like just this fucking street that appears to terminate at the end. And then when you get to the end, it turns out it doesn't terminate. There's just like also like what looks like a national forest. And then you take a left and you go to like, you walk down another fucking street, and that ends in like one of those post office fucking depots. And you know, they put those out in the middle of buttfuck, like it's, you're not supposed to go there, you're not supposed to see them. And then you walk up somebody else's driveway. Like that's the crazy part. Like it's this fucking driveway to just a huge parking lot surrounded by nothing but what looks like abandoned office spaces. And then the farthest fucking distance from that is the fucking U-Mart. And you get there and there's just like this perfect oasis. Which it fucking needs to be, because if it were like the fucking Milton one, I'd just fucking kill a cunt. Like, I'm not journeying through like, you know, 2 hours worth of fucking side quest just to get to somewhere that doesn't even have an inn.
I don't think I've ever been here.
This is, that bit in the middle is where the tram line used to be. You can still see them a little bit.
Yeah, actually, no, I have been here.
When they come out.
I do remember. There's a nice barbecue place around here somewhere.
Used to terminate or something.
Well, there used to be anyway.
Yeah.
Don't know if it still is. It's like an American-style like kitchen. That's
okay. And then they got rid of the trams because they're not that very useful an idea if you have like buses and trains.
Yeah. Or, you know, Brisbane, the hilly fucking place it is.
Yeah.
It's
like, what did the tram do? Well, it went along the road and it came out here and it was public transport and people could ride it. Oh, a bus. Kinda, but like it's on tracks and it's sort of like...
You can only go fucking from point A to point B.
And if something happens with a bus, we can get like that fucking big-ass tow truck that does buses and just fucking drive off with it.
There was a tattoo place over there and it was just in a caravan.
Bold. yeah, that's fine.
These, they're supposed to be stainless steel. Yeah, they are. That's aluminium foil. Yeah, but it's the thought that counts.
Stainless steel brand linoleum.
Oh yeah, this is Carindale.
Yeah, this is where I go when I gotta go to like the Big W or the Kmart to get like a thing, because that's just where you go to get shit. I need a thing that goes in my house, you know? Like I need a house thing.
So yeah, Thursdays are our vlog days. That's when we're going to be vlogging. And we've done a few so far and people have enjoyed them. And that's been fun. I've enjoyed them. I've enjoyed doing them. I've enjoyed getting out of the house and stuff. So like a bit of the future of what we're going to be doing is I'm currently kind of like learning cinematography. Things like color grading, that sort of stuff, because I want to do actual, you know, full productions, videos that aren't just, hey, we're playing a video game and talking over it. Because, believe it or not, that doesn't scratch a creative itch. It's very dull. My brain is dull. And so yeah, things have been rough health-wise. I have not been good. I have got many things wrong with me. Apart from, like, obviously the gourd was a big one, that's a disease, so I just, like, fucking got to manage that through my life. But that kind of made it so I just couldn't eat any food. It's gotten a bit better now, because I also think I had some sort of virus, currently getting tests and other things. Fucking had every test under the sun. Had MRIs, I've had fucking CT scans, I've had things, blood tests.
Find how many eggs it laid
Got
in
to
your
get
brain.
a biopsy next week.
What are they biopsying?
Shit, cells.
Okay. What cells?
It's like,
Your butt cells?
yeah.
Just generally.
Just got to eliminate, chances of everything that you can't find in normal tests.
It's lupus.
It's not.
You're a
it's
Dr.
not
House
lupus.
episode. You're really fucking
I
hard,
really
like.
am. And
You gotta find out what you're lying about.
so I don't sleep. So I'll go to sleep at 11 p.m. to midnight, and then I'll wake up every hour on the hour. And I sweat like fucking crazy. I'm talking, I have to change my sheets every day. And it is just fucking dragging me down.
It's gotta be one of those things where, you're only able to eat, pears or something.
Well, even if I don't eat, I still get sick.
Oh. Yeah, but, not eating's not great. You still need, stuff in you.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. But I mean,
It's just you'll have some fucking allergy to some, baseline thing that's in everything.
I've had allergy tests and there's nothing, nothing shows.
That's fucking weird.
So, I think a big thing, personally, I think this sweating is mainly due to me coming off medications. Because I came off Zol, because I've slowly weaned off Zoloft, and now I've been off that for about
You don't want to just
5
go
weeks.
off
No,
Zoloft.
God, no, you don't. But I weaned off that, and that was fine. And my therapist was like, "Oh, how was that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it was fine." She's like, "That's one of the worst things to come off." And I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "I fucking didn't."
I think that the thing of it is you've got so many other horrors to distract you. So it's wow, you didn't notice a sudden real negative spin in your general outlook and health. No, that's just normal.
That's just normal.
Yeah.
Apart from the eye tremors things, which were just awful, fucking awful. But they're better
Apart from
now.
that bit of your brain that makes your vision work, just sort of spazzing out,
Yeah, it sucked. And I'm not on Lyrica anymore.
Yeah, that's another doozy of
So
a fucking.
both those things can cause hydrosis, sweating.
Yeah, well, there we go.
So hopefully, in a few months, that will be off. And it's just been a struggle because obviously I broke up with my partner and moved out, and now I live by myself. Well, not by myself, but with Wayne.
Which is close to by yourself.
Close to by myself, yeah. And I got the cats there now,
You're
which
not
is nice.
You're not Genshin Impact, so Wayne doesn't pay much attention to you.
I could be. And
Get me one of those anime girl outfits.
fuck, now I lost my train of thought. I'm thinking about
You
Genshin.
got cats.
Oh yeah, I got the cats there, which is nice. Fucking, my doctor was I wanted to talk to him about getting on disability. Because
Which you really, yeah.
because I can't, now that I'm not in a relationship with someone who earns money, I can actually look at that. And he's like, no, you can't. The government's fucked. And right now, the government won't really put anyone on disability, which is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, no.
He's like, I've got patients who are 50 plus and they
Crippled.
can't do shit, but the government still expects them to work. And so he's like, what we'll do is you go on Job Seeker and
Yeah,
they
we'll
write
just
you
get
a
a medical
note,
certificate,
and so
yeah.
you don't have to do any of this shit. And I'm just like, I get so fucking pissed off because there's so many people that do this, and it's like you're taking money from the actual job seekers when there's actually something for people who are this sick, disability,
Yeah.
and.
Well, I mean, it's it's functionally it's the same fucking pool. Yeah, it was like the NDIS and the LMP didn't like the idea of having to actually look after people, so they crippled it.
Fucking stupid. And to make matters worse, the government brought in our digital identity. Oh, that's a clusterfuck.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you don't have one, or have one and you can't.
I
touch
don't
it.
have one. I didn't have a digital identity because it's still in beta. So I went to go to Centrelink. You need a digital identity. That's how you do it. It's the only way to fucking do it.
Yeah,
Unless you can prove, there's another option, but that doesn't work if you're someone like me who has more than one name still on multiple things, right?
Going with your mum.
And so I go to the digital identity website. It doesn't work for 3 days. Just doesn't work. Doesn't load. Fucking ring them. Yeah, no, it's fucked at the moment. Okay, well, what good is that? Can you help me over the phone? No, because it's all the same system. Well, that's fucking dumb.
Guess what my computer connects to?
And it's like, you guys
you'll
are
be pleasantly surprised.
It's fucking garbage. So finally the site gets fixed. I go on there, make my digital identity and everything. Can't change my name. There is no way to change your name. There's not an option to change your name.
That's funny.
And I'm like, that is what? So I'm like trying to work out how to change your name. And what I gather is you have to do it every time. Like if you install the app and verify your identity and you reset the app or delete the app, when you reinstall it, you have to verify your identity again. You have to do everything again. So it doesn't even save anywhere.
That's funny.
So already it's bad.
Like, you'd think that just, like, wouldn't it be useful to them to just have it be like, this person changed their name to this on file somewhere?
Well, the thing is, when you change your name, you pay extra to get a change of name certificate that says, this was my previous name, this is my current name. So I reset the thing, put it in my details, and then it's like, okay. So I upload my birth certificate, my new one, and it's like, oh, this name doesn't match. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. And it's like, have you got a change of name certificate? Yes. Guess what, Gabriel? They only accept change of name certificates from every state except for New South Wales and Queensland. How does that work?
That's funny as shit.
How does that work? Why did I pay for the change of name certificate that can't be used? You know what happened when I went to the ATO website? I went on there and uploaded the change of name certificate and it instantly changed my name.
That's funny.
So, MyGov, you can't change your name on. Because it updates through my digital identity. That's where it pulls the name change from.
Yeah.
Except I can't change my name on there.
Just commit a bunch of fucking welfare fraud under the name Aaron
I've
Costello.
tried.
Really?
I've tried. It won't let me.
So they won't even let you get anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
So right now they're basically, you're not a person.
That's
you don't
funny as
exist.
shit.
And I'm just like, I'm about to sue someone. Like, it is so fucking ridiculous that they go, you can have a change of name certificate from every state but these two. Why? It's an official government document.
I know, like...
None of that makes sense. Because I
can't
can't change my name anywhere else.
Do you just not trust Queensland and New South Wales? Like, Queensland I could understand, but and New South Wales?
Like,
That's
New
where
South
Sydney
Wales is literally the biggest state in the fucking country.
It's the place where most of the shit is.
Yes. So I thought, like, maybe...
What do they do that's not, like, fucking...
So I thought maybe they'd have their own app or something. Maybe it's a separate app for them. No, it's just the same app for all of Australians. That makes zero sense. So I've been fucking... Because, like, I just can't fucking live.
No.
Like, I can't live off $1,300 a month.
No.
Like, I'm constantly having to borrow money from family and friends because it's fucked. And, like, the government won't help me. So that's kind of where I am. So on top of all the sickness, I've got all this shit going on. And it's just like, I literally did everything to make this all easy.
Sorry, we don't accept forms from these two states. Are we a country? Like, what the fuck?
But the thing is, dude, like, if I wasn't changing, my whole identity, my gender, I still wouldn't be able to do it, even if I just changed my last name. Like, the name change form still wouldn't be accepted. So how do you change your name on there? I have not found a way. Every person I've talked to on the phone or gone, it just goes, you can't do it. And it's like, what do you mean I can't do it? So do I just not exist? Can I go rob places because I don't exist?
Yeah.
Like...
if you check the files, I think you'll find I don't exist.
Because, like, the system's garbage. Like, it wouldn't accept my passport for 2 days. It just goes, details are wrong, even though they weren't. And then after 2 days, it just accepts it. And it's like...
Yeah, again, this is like...
This needs to be fixed. This has to be a priority. They keep introducing a new service and then coupling them. And
well, the new service was, like, one of the things that the LNP put in, like, late.
Well, they can get fucked.
Oh, yeah, no. The reason all of this is happening is because they literally weren't governing. Like, there was nothing, like, literally nothing was happening. Like, I've been reading about, like, ministers getting in now and just, like, okay, what's the portfolio like? and seeing like public servants go, yeah, like basic upkeep of like, you know, maintenance of the software environment and all of this stuff has just been piling up. Like things just haven't been functioning.
Yeah.
Oh, exotic filled candy.
What do you classify as exotic?
Yeah.
Because like I wouldn't say sherbet's exotic, and
I mean, because you've got my interest. When you say like exotic and candy, I'm like, all right,
cocaine.
where's that going then? You know, what is this? Like a fucking spider and honey? Like, where the fuck are we?
Hello.
All right. I don't normally go out this end. It shocks me that people live out here.
It does feel like we're going back in time.
It's that fucking, yeah.
Like there's a Montezuma's that still like has a Montezuma's building, which is nuts because most Montezuma's I see are just taken over another building, you know, and modified slightly.
Yeah, Montezuma's the taste of Mexico if you're not into the whole spices thing. I kind of feel sorry for places like that because, you know, for a while no one in Australia really knew how to make any fucking Mexican food or anything, and then like, I don't know, I think a bunch of Californians showed up and then just started making like fucking stuff that had actual cumin in it and shit. Because I've eaten at a Montezuma's once and like got the fucking like, alright, I'll get the spiciest of shit. And like, bear in mind, I wasn't even aiming for hot. I was just aiming for something that was flavorsome. And it wasn't. I was like, what am I, like, if you take spice out of a lot of Mexican food, a lot of it's just goop, you know? Like, it's just like, oh, what's this? A pile of stuff. And this is next to another pile of stuff and some bits of meat. And it's like, if you don't add some shit to this, you know, you're not having a fun experience. It's not a pleasant thing that I'm doing. I'm just eating 4 kinds of slime.
I think Pizza Hut should be required to be in hut-shaped buildings. Otherwise, you're not a hut.
Yeah, it is. When you separate it like that, it is weird that they picked hut, you know?
Like, yeah.
Pizza yurt.
Pizza building. Pizza gazebo.
Pizza demountable.
Dirigible.
Pizza blimp, yeah, like that. I'd shop at Pizza Blimp.
It comes to you.
Yeah. I saw a thing, it was a YouTube recommendation that actually fucking worked in my favor, where it was like, how much helium do you need to lift a person? And I'm deeply fascinated by this because I want to have a pedal blimp. And it's like 50,000 liters. It's bigger than slightly bigger than I thought, but not so big as to make the whole fucking exercise worthless.
Right.
But I feel like if you had, because I just feel like until there's like, you know, like imagine drone delivery now is like having a car before there were petrol stations everywhere. You know, it's like, all right, the concept's there, and yeah, you can get it to work. But without this big infrastructure of stuff, this is just like, oh boy, I hope my fucking drone with my food gets here and doesn't just get destroyed by any number of, you know, possible negative eventualities, you know, like the wind could get it, a fucking bird could attack it, you know, God only fucking knows. It's like, all right, I got like a fucking car and I can, you know, go for a drive, and then like, well, now I'm over here and I don't have any more car blood. So, alright. Guess I better fucking get to fermenting some tubers in the hopes that I can get enough kerosene to top up my engine. Because I love the idea of a drone delivery, but it's just also like, I want my thing to get to me and I just don't trust this process one iota.
No, they're perfect, dude. The drones are huge. Like, they're really big.
I suppose, yeah. I do forget about how big those fuckers can get.
Because they're not like, you know, consumer ones.
Yeah. They're not things you can just buy in a shop with a camera on to be like a fuck knuckle.
Yeah.
It's like that picture of like an Australian backyard from like someone's drone. And it's like, obviously someone's got a drone for Christmas or something and just flown it over a neighbor's backyard. And so it's like, 2 of the most Australian suburban human beings I've ever seen chucking beer bottles at like a drone. And it has this fantastic gods must be crazy quality to it, you know. The Peking bird is back. It's looking at what I do.
Yeah, because, like, you're not... There's laws about drones.
Like, again, as there should be, because, like, a remote control car is one thing. A flying fucking vehicle is something you can cause legitimate fucking trouble with.
Yeah.
And especially if you can put a fucking camera on it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you told pervs from, like, 30 years ago, it's like,
dude.
oh, you'll have a thing like, yeah, you're not gonna have to George McFly your way up a fucking tree to take a picture of, like,
George
the neighbor
McFly
girl's
was
tits.
such a creepy dude. Like, the way he was in that tree, like, licking his lips, looking through the binoculars. Like, good work, Marty, you helped a pervert.
Yeah.
Good work.
Is that... I mean, the only thing that balances that out is just what an absolute fucking hornbag his mother was, which does crack me up. But, like, yeah, it's like, just, I know it's hard, George, but if you just put on, like, some big sunglasses and, like, a hat or something, you could probably go to the dirty bookstore, you know? It's like, alright, it's the 1950s, and you probably don't know what a boob looks like.
Not being very subtle there, buddy. Fucking bike just sitting there, him up in the tree. Because he's a tall dude. He's lanky. He's like...
The ever peculiar Crispin Glover.
Man, Crispin Glover's a weird name.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's an unusual human being. Just his fucking... I wonder what he's like these days.
I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta look that up. I gotta see what he's up to, because I haven't even seen him in anything. I think he was in, like, he was in those, like, newer Charlie's Angels movies as, like, a villain.
He was, yes. He was
But,
creepy
like,
as fucking that.
Yeah, and it was just like, hey, why are we hiring Crispin Glover? Oh, he's gonna be a fucking weirdo. All right. You know, good call.
Speaking of weirdos, I saw a gif of Kevin Spacey with, like... He was just sitting amongst, like, 10 people all wearing Kevin Spacey masks. And Kevin Spacey was also wearing a Kevin Spacey mask. And then he takes off the mask and it's just Kevin Spacey. It's like,
Great. All right, his middle name's Hellion, which I think is just a bit on the nose.
Hellion Glover, that's fantastic.
Glover is known for portraying eccentric characters on screen.
Hmm.
In the late 1980s, Glover started his company, Volcanic Eruptions, which publishes his books and also serves as the production company for his films, such as 2005's What Is It? And 2007's It's Fine, Everything is Fine.
Jesus. I don't know, Crispin. Doesn't sound fine to me.
Okay. Glover made his directorial debut with 2005's What Is It? A surreal film featuring a cast of actors with Down syndrome.
Oh no.
Glover's second film is It's Fine, Everything is Fine, was written by a Utah writer and actor Stephen C. Stewart. Stewart was born with severe cerebral palsy and has been confined to a nursing home for about 10 years. It's like, alright, you know, okay, he's telling stories that wouldn't otherwise get told, you know? Fine.
Yeah.
And then the next sentence. The film is a fantastical psychosexual retelling of life from Stewart's point of view.
Jesus.
I don't... Alright.
Crispin Glover related to Donald Glover.
Alright, I've got my Twins remake. I mean, just yes.
We should remake the N64 game Glover, but with Crispin Glover.
Yeah, I've been thinking that as well. Glover has residences in Los Angeles, okay, and the Czech Republic. Alright, maybe he's Czech, I don't know. His residence in Chamek. Alright, look. Konaravice. I mean, I'm probably Konaravice. I don't know fucking, you know, Czech fucking Latin pronunciations. 45 minutes east of Prague by train, wait for it, is a 17th century 20-acre chateau that is recognized as historically significant by the Czech government. The property requires constant upkeep and restoration, according to Glover. The property is a lifetime project that will be in continuous flux and repair for hundreds of years from now, as it has been for hundreds of years before I owned it. Glover is not married, nor does he have children, citing his busy career as one of the reasons for which he feels unfit to be a father, as he feels that a father should be there for his children.
Well, You can choose to be there, Crispin. Like, it's just no one will fuck you. Like, we know it. Come on. Because you're weak.
It's like every time he comes, the ejaculate leaps into his own mouth like the blood test scene and thing.
Yeah.
It refuses to leave him.
You know, like, what I've been thinking lately is like...
Oh, well, that's good. He's in Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, so that'll be good for him.
What I've been thinking about lately is just like how, as time goes on, we're getting less and less unique-looking actors.
Yeah.
You know, like Willem Dafoe really fucking, like, he's got more bones in his face than most people do in their body, you know, the angles in his face. And it's like, where do you see that? It's like, you know, you don't. Everyone's like chiseled and good looking and shit because we beat that, you know, 50s, 60s era of smoking's good for you. And all the other weird chemicals we're experimenting
like
with
DDT
and stuff.
and shit.
And, yeah.
Turns out getting like fucking cigarettes, DDT, and asbestos out of like everything, you know, kind of good for the skin.
Yeah.
Solid for that.
I've been watching a sort of like a episodic biopic on Disney Plus called Mike. It's about Mike Tyson.
Oh, is that the Hulu one he yelled at?
I don't know.
It probably is if it's on Disney Plus.
Probably. Why did he yell at it?
I think it's like it's doing something without. It might be. I'm suspecting it's because it's doing something or telling elements of his life he's not, you know, pleased about, or a perspective he doesn't like, or something along those lines. It just feels like that.
Fucking and like.
Maybe they are being dicks, but they.
When he was young, like really young, they essentially diagnosed him as a retard.
Which back in that day meant you got like a tire with some, you know, rope put over you, and that was it.
And he left school after like the second grade. So he'd go to school in the morning and then just not go to school.
Yeah.
And like they'd come back for lunch because poor black kids.
Oh, like man, his childhood is like fucking depressing.
Oh, it's rough as shit, dude.
It's one of those ones where it's just like, it's a fucking miracle he turned out as fucking adjusted as he is.
Yeah. And so his mum and his father, or the man he thinks he was his father, was
the guy that was around.
They would just fight each other. Like his mum, like his dad punched out his mum, knocked out a tooth, and she's like, "Mike, you just stay out of the way." You know, he's like, "We got to live with him, but we don't have to like him." And then he's like, "You want some soup?" And she goes over and just like pours the hot soup on him and whacks him in the face with a frying pan. And like, he's like, yeah, they'd fight a lot, then they'd fuck, and it's like, good lord.
I've seen that.
Fucking lord, that's
like,
just.
I've you know, I've seen exactly that between like this really wiry fucking woman with like what I'd call the T2 Sarah Connor build.
Yeah.
You know, and like one of those like fucking keg-shaped biker guys, and it was fascinating because it's like fucking Japanese MMA in the 90s where it's just like, all right, you know, let's put like a great welterweight against like a sumo and just see what happens. And it was one of those situations. It was like watching like fucking, you know, Akuma versus Hugo in Third Strike, where it's just like Akuma has so much speed, like surprisingly good like fucking range and shit. So she'd fucking be weaving around him, fucking moving and fucking slugging him, and none of these hits are doing a lot of damage. But like they're wearing him down.
Yeah.
Whereas all he had to do was like fucking standing medium punch paw and like just knock her the fuck over.
Yeah.
But it was funny because like you could never, like the first thing is you'd think is like, oh yeah, this is just a dude beating up his wife. But like the violence was so insanely even though it fucking shouldn't have been. And it was just like, oh yeah, these are people who just, like, this violence is part, like, because violence is a form of communication. Like, you look at fucking animals and shit, and it's like, you know, animals don't have a sense of personal space. If an animal wants an animal to stop doing something, it has to fucking bite it.
Yeah.
Like, this was just how these people fucking communicated to a fucking degree. It was just like, because it's not like, you know, it's such a weird fucking Weird pairing.
And so Mike essentially kind of like grew up mostly on the streets, and he first fought because he found like these kids who had like all these pigeons on the roof, and the kid just was fucking with him one day and was like, "This is my pigeon now," blah blah blah, and he just rips its head off in front of him, and Mike just beats the absolute living shit out of him. And
like, again, imagine the one thing that you fucking care about in the world being like some roof pigeons to begin with. That's fucking sad. And then imagine someone in front of you just going, "Hey, I'm gonna take this away from you," just for no other reason aside from like just cold-hearted spite.
Because like they all knew that he was like dirt poor, because like he smelled, like his clothes couldn't wash and stuff like that, and like, you know, he talked with a lisp. He didn't have an education.
The lisp was the other brutal fucking of all the fucking things.
And so Mike goes to fucking look at the water.
The courthouse restaurant. I sentence you to delicious. I didn't even know we were this close to the fucking water.
Yeah, that's
that looks
fucking
weird. It
nuts.
just looks like the fucking, you know, a bit of the world got lopped off.
Watch out, Mr. Ibis.
Oh, fuck it.
I'm just gonna turn around because I don't want to park behind that truck.
Yeah, that gal reversed right into you.
Yeah, so Mike, what was I saying? Oh yeah, he grew up essentially with the gang, and they all kind of started looking up to him because he beat the absolute shit out of this kid. And, you know, they were stealing TVs and, you know, robbing places, and his mum was like, you're gonna end up dead. And it's actually like it's an R-rated program, and you actually see like one of the kids get gunned in the back of the fucking head, and it's brutal. Like as they're running away, like this cops tell them to stop and they don't, so the cop just shoots one, as they fucking do. And Mike ends.
It's so wild looking at it like American police versus like everybody else.
It's so rough.
The thing I keep coming back to with it on like Twitter as well is like, all right, like they'll go, well, that guy shouldn't have done something. It's like, all right, look, I want to show you a video of like a guy with a knife going batshit in like Melbourne, and like one of the cops walking up to him like this, like fucking putting up his fucking dukes and not getting out his gun and firing, and for a lot of reasons. And I mean, like, you know, in a lot of situations you'd be like, yeah, you can probably like fucking shoot that guy because you know he's not, his aim is to stab people. This isn't like a fucking thing you can talk a dude down from. But like, you know, he doesn't get his gun out because they're on a fucking busy city street, and bullets can just keep going. You know, they can hit other cunts. And again, that's like, because, you know, it came up like when some fucking, you know, cops just fucking unloaded and have killed like a 14-year-old in a dressing room somewhere. And it's just like, you know, well, we got that. You know, I'm not even sure if the fucking, I can't remember. I can't distinguish that from like fucking any of the other goddamn ones. I can't remember specifically if the, you know, person they were even shooting at was like, you know, again, if it's like, all right, yeah, that's like the Joker. It's like, all right, look, you know,
shoot that motherfucker.
Yeah, I'll be like, all right, look, you know, there's a tragedy, but, you know, on the plus side, at least we're not dealing with the Joker anymore. But like, it'll just
These
be
are black
like
kids.
Yeah,
like,
it'll be you know, a shoplifter or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And look, I understand like smacking them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna say don't fucking smack them, but like, you know.
Well, it's a permanent solution. It ends, you know, like. So yeah, this kid gets shot. Mike ends up.
We're in Australia's little.
Eventually, goes to like fucking juvie and shit, and eventually goes to like to prison. And while in there, he meets this like these two other dudes are like fucked up in their room, and he's like, what happened to you guys? And it's like, there's the guidance counselor, and they're like, he's like, what? He was a ex-boxing champion. So, and Mike's like, I'll fuck him up, and they're like, oh, good luck. So he gets into the ring with this guy, and this guy just fucks him up. And Mike's like, I thought I was dying. That's how hard he hit me. And so Mike chases this guy who was down. He's like, I want to learn from you. I want to teach, you know, blah, blah. So eventually he gives him a chance, you know, and he studies and stuff. And Mike always thought he was dumb, but he just never had anyone believe in him or, you know,
I mean,
let
it's
him
such
apply himself.
Like this is what I mean about like, you know, stuff to do with like, all right, look, you know, there are situations where you go, all right, yeah, this kid's got like a fucking measurable disorder. But the whole point of any of this, and the whole point of why you really don't talk about this with like fucking people who have none of the fucking extra back catalogue of understanding of the complexity of the issue. Is you can't give people an excuse to just look at a kid and go, yeah, that one's tarted, and then not try. Because, like, odds on you haven't put the fucking effort in the first place to eliminate a variety of other possibilities.
Exactly.
And then you just fucking, like, the idea at, like, you know, fucking age of, like, what, you know, 6, 7. It's like, oh yeah, he can't learn. And it's like, are you sure? Have we not, like, have you thought maybe he just hasn't had, like, I don't know, food for a day and a half or something? Like, you know, there might be some other element here that we might want to fucking, some other boxes to tick before we just put him in the tire outside, like.
This motherfucker is like, starts learning to box at all this shit and builds up. And he's 14. 14 and the motherfucker looks like an 18-year-old. Like, that's how built he is.
Oh, yeah. No, I know you. I was like, just seeing pictures like 14-year-old like Tyson and shit. It's like, fucking run.
So he gets the fucking
puberty showed up.
The guidance counselor's like, dude, like, you're going to get out of here. You know, you're on probation soon. And he's like, I want to hook you up with this guy. You know, he's trained 2 world champions.
Gus.
And Mike's like, what did I do wrong? He's like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. He's like, well, why are you sending me away? He's like, no, this is for you, Mike. Because like no one had ever done anything for him, so he was just like constantly thinking he's in trouble.
The guy that hit him good was the most kindness I'd ever experienced.
Exactly. So Cuss fucking trains him, and Cuss eventually dies, and that's when everything goes fucking downhill because Cuss adopted him.
Yeah.
Like after his mother died, like him.
No, it's a legendary thing, and anybody remotely interested in like combat sports says like, what if Cus Kusamano didn't die?
Yeah.
Because
dude.
Basically left us still like, I mean, he was like in his early 20s still, I think, like Tyson with like some of the worst monsters. Like some of the worst monsters and parasites in like boxing.
Yep. So fucking when Cuss died, they had contracts in place that no one knew about that would just essentially give Mike to these other people. Well, this is your trainer now, blah, blah, blah. This is your, all your management, all this shit. And then Mike gets involved with a fucking young lady and everything just goes even worse downhill. Like, she gets him diagnosed with manic depression, starts having him take lithium, on top of fucking the DDT and all the other shit he's taking, which just makes him essentially like a zombie. And
discontinue the lithium.
Like, dude, it was so bad. And yeah, just eventually Don King got to him, and that was just the worst. Because Don King is a slimy fucking piece of shit. It's insane. Like, his story is very fucking insane.
Start to finish, fucking madhouse. Like,
yeah.
And now he's like smoking toad crack on the internet.
Dude, it's so great.
But he seems happy.
Dude, he's so happy. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. I mean, he also raped a girl, so, he's not like...
Yeah,
like
probably...
he's been a bad guy, but fucking still at an interesting...
Well, the rape one's an interesting one, because at the very least, I think he genuinely thinks he didn't do anything.
Oh, no, 100%. 100%.
Because he could have just, paid the rich guy a rape fine and not gone to jail. But he kept going on that he didn't do it. And he went to jail.
Yeah.
Which is odd. Because normally you just all right, I'll pay the rape fine. And then you go, you just... Because other fucking athletes have done that. It's just like... And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You could just go, I don't want to sleep with you. All right, bye. And then you fucking call your manager and go, send 5 prostitutes. That's a problem that can be resolved in
He was still a child in his head.
Oh yeah,
that's
no,
the problem.
again,
It's he's just...
Well, the thing I always come back to is pigeon head ripped off.
Yeah.
It's no one, there was no you probably needed a minute with some therapy and stuff to deal with some of these things. You can't it is wild, It's oh yeah, let's take this person who's just seen some shit, and then let's teach him to hit really hard. and then we're gonna catastrophically celebrate him for this one fucking thing. Still no, we're not gonna address the fucking any of the problems.
Because he didn't lose a match until I think it was around 36, 37 wins. And he lost the belt to someone in Japan, not a Japanese boxer, but the bout was in Japan. And like he just
Holyfield?
wasn't training. No, not Holyfield. I can't remember his name. He just wasn't training. You know, he wasn't doing anything. He was just eating constantly and just getting fucked up and having sex, and it fucked him up. Like, and I don't know. I don't remember, but like, it's funny because like Mike Tyson's Punch Out was in the story. Like Don King hands him a copy of Punch Out and he's like, look, you're on this Nintendo game, and Mike's like fucking enamored. And after he loses, he goes into like this toy store with his like nephew, and he goes to buy him a Nintendo, and this kid in the store's like, oh, you're Mike Tyson. He's like, shh. He goes, do you have a Nintendo? And he goes, no. And he goes, wow, do you want one? And the kid's like, ah! And the guy, he goes and he goes, I want all your Nintendos. And he goes, throw a copy of Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And he goes, whoa, dude, it's not Mike Tyson's Punch Out anymore. Just hands him the copy.
Now
and
you're
he's
Mr.
like,
Dream.
yeah, he's like, fucking Mr. Dream. This is a weird place, dude. So like Cleveland just kind of ends in the water. Like we just got to like a peninsula.
It just goes and it stops.
And then it just stops.
It's a little bit like the ending of fucking De La Morte, De La More.
Yeah. Fucking interesting place though.
Yeah, I don't remember if there's any beach ferals around.
Man.
Clinical Pilates.
The fuck is clinical Pilates?
I mean, I'd like to think that there's like some actual meaning behind it, like some kind of, you know, combination of like physiotherapy and stuff, because that can be useful, but also it's just, yeah, there's a good chance it's just bullshit. Because those forms of you know, primarily body weight and posture exercise systems can be really good if you're fucking injured. Like I do a lot of, where it's just like, okay, you have to squat in this really specific way with your back in a specific way, because you've not been squatting properly for like probably 20 years. Okie dokie.
And I watched Spider-Man 1 through 3 yesterday, the original Raimi trilogy.
The fight sequences in 1 are so terrible.
Oh god, they are fucking bad.
I don't think they even hired a stuntman to do like the kicks.
I don't think so. Number 2 is a gem.
Oh yeah, number 2.
3 honestly wasn't as bad as I remember it being, and
that's weird.
I think that's because X-Men 3 exists.
It's hard because X-Men 3 is a bunch of dumb decisions and wasted potential, but it doesn't have nearly the same. It doesn't go for as long, and it doesn't have nearly the same level of just cringe-inducing moments as fucking Spider-Man 3.
Because like I was watching it and like some of the cinematography on the fights is really good.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I don't remember it being that good. Like, you know, fucking dude who played Flint Marko, what's his name? Hayden Thomas Church or something?
I think that is it, yeah.
Fucking gem.
He was
gem
in that,
of a fucking actor.
He was in that fucking sitcom for a while in the 90s with the girl that I think was in Will and Grace.
Oh, Dahmer and Greg?
No. It was another one like that. It was like Jim and Stacy or something.
Right.
They were like flatmates or something.
So yeah, like Topher Grace is still probably my least favorite part of that movie all over. Just because Topher Grace is the worst casting for Eddie Brock possible, because Eddie is supposed to be a big thug.
Yeah.
And just like you can have as the argument is, you could have other versions now, such like MCU and stuff, but like they weren't doing other versions. There was no excess.
Yeah, there was no excess. Again, they didn't think about how this was affecting other dominoes.
Correct.
It's like how in like the fucking MCU Spider-Man's Flash Thompson's like a rich Indian kid, as opposed to like a big jock.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so the thing is like, okay, the thing that makes sense about that is he's not going to a regular high school. He's going to a nerd high school for nerds.
Yeah.
And so, unless you in every one of these situations, there will be some South Indian kid, or Southeast Asian kid, be India or Pakistan, who will be rich and a cunt, and that's the other dominoes being taken care of. It's like the environment is somewhat different, so we get this somewhat different thing. Whereas like they just cast Topher Grace as like 80s Flash Thompson, as 80s Eddie Brock. It's like
none of that works.
Yeah.
I do feel sorry for Grace, because like taking that movie role was probably one of the worst decisions he made. because it like tanked his career. Because he was successful up until that point. He was on a sitcom that had ran for 6 seasons, and wasn't slowing down. And then was like, "Hey guys, I'm leaving. You're our main dude." Yeah, but like movie.
You're literally our main dude. Like any other cast member could have left, and it wouldn't have fucked that show up as nearly as much. Because it's just like. One of the hardest things was like, all right, look, you've got like Kitty and Red who are really important, but also now like, why are all these kids here?
Yeah, why are they still in the house?
Yeah.
It's like, that's weird.
You have to get another set.
So I watched that, and then what else did I watch yesterday? I watched The Waterboy. I hadn't seen that in a while.
The fucking Australian film?
No, the Adam Sandler one.
Oh, right, okay, I'm thinking of Stormboy.
Stormboy. And like, man, that movie's good. Like, fuck, that movie's funny.
It's got that chick from The Craft in it that gives me a boner.
Which, The Craft?
Yeah, you remember the one about the teenage witches?
Yeah, is that the...
Yeah, that's the one that...
like the love interest?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was also in Return to Oz. She played Dorothy.
Oh, holy shit, that's right. I completely fucking forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's insane, like... Even ignoring anything else she's done, that's a fucking odd IMDb page.
Dude, her IMDb page is nuts. So yeah, shit, like, and it's fucking... I love the, like, Farmer Fran in that movie. The guy who talks completely in Cajun.
Yeah, no, like, it's such an easy thing, but it's one of my favorite comedy tropes is just gibberish dialect, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same as, like, fucking Hot Fuzz, where, they've got that old farmer, and then they have to, like, because they've got the guy, the cop that nobody can understand, and they need him to translate the fucking farmer that nobody can understand. And the best part is, like, these are real people. You can look these people up on YouTube. Like, you look up, look, we're down in County Cork to talk to, like, a fucking guy with the thickest Irish accent. And this is, like, the reporter has a thick Irish accent. And then this guy's got, like, just 4 teeth. It's like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, it's fucking amazing. It's like nothing but vowels. How are you doing this?
Shit, dude. And I forgot that Henry Winkler was like a main star in that movie because he played the coach.
Yeah, that was an interesting time too, because like, it was after that. Like these days, he has that kind of like old Hollywood gentleman thing.
Yeah.
Where you can just put him in most stuff.
Yeah.
And like, there's no issues of typecasting or anything like that. He's like, it's just like, yeah, he can, like he's in Barry and he's really great in that. Like, so he's at that point where he can just get cast in shit. But there was that long stretch where you just, like, I don't know, he wasn't on much in the way of TV. I can't remember what he was doing. I think he was doing stuff. I think he was doing, like, I think he pulled a fucking, what's his name? Ron Howard and got into, like, production and stuff.
Oh, right. He was also in Little Nicky.
Like, yeah, I mean, that was stunt casting.
Most of Sandler's movies have the same actors in them. And I didn't realize, like, to the degree. Seeing a lot of, like, them in Waterboy, because Waterboy was an earlier one. And, like, seeing a lot of the ones that are in his later, like, the guy who plays... I can't remember fucking his name, but he's...
The Grandma's Boy guy?
No, not him, but his friend. The guy who plays, like, the witch doctor dude. And he's in Little Nicky as one of, like, the two kind of, like, rocker friends. I can't even talk like him. I can't really think of the way he talks, but he was in fucking Grandma's Boy.
Was he in Happy Gilmore?
I don't actually think so. Yeah.
I gotta look it up now because it's gonna drive me nuts.
I need to know his name.
Because I can't even picture him, and I know if I see him, it'll click.
He's kind of a darker complexion. Usually has longer hair.
So it's like one of the rockers in Little Nicky.
Yeah.
All right, come on, help me here. All right, yeah, all right.
Like, I need to know what he's done with his life.
Yeah, the guys that, like, worshipped him, right?
Yeah, yep.
Was it the guy with the, like... Oh, yeah, the Pick Me a Winner guy.
Yeah, so it's not the white dude, it's the other one. Like...
I gotta fucking... Yeah, like, who plays these guys? You fucking mob
I just got
bastards.
IMDb Little Nicky.
Yeah, but then I like, because it doesn't have their names anywhere. So I'll have to be like just scrolling like, oh yeah, there he is. And that can be like, you know. Rodney Dangerfield as Lucifer.
That I fucking love that so much.
Yeah, Kevin Nealon's always in there.
Because like I know the guy you're talking about, and he was the caddy in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
And I think his name's Alex something.
Not fucking helping. Not the Peeping Tom. Alright. Something about the cameos in Little Nicky, so that might help.
John Lovett. John Lovett.
Jealous.
Man, I love John Lovett. He's fucking so funny.
Yeah, we know Dana Carvey's in there.
Hey, Dana Carvey's in it?
God, Clint. Yeah, he was like the referee at like.
Oh, yes.
That's gonna drive me fucking insane. Alright, come on. Alright, who played the Pick Me a Winner guy? Because that's the guy you're talking about.
Maybe you should just look up Grandma's Boy IMDb, because like he's one of the main actors, so he should be near the top.
Alright. Once again into the Grandma's Boy IMDb page.
One of the internet's top search websites. Grandma's Boy IMDb.
I think it's Peter Dante.
That's it. Yes, that is it. That is it.
Alright, so let's see what Peter Dante's been up to. Grandma's Boy, Mr. Deeds, yeah, he's in like.
He's pretty much in all of them.
Yeah. Jack and Jill. That's my boy. Any of the characters he portrays are named Dante, whether for a first or last name.
Fantastic.
I don't know if he does anything else.
I don't think he does.
Alright. I don't know what it is, if it's a movie or what, but it's called the Sandlerverse.
What? That's confronting.
Yeah.
Fucking who could Adam Sandler
I
play?
do think it's like an actual documentary about all the fucking connections of the Adam
Really?
Sandler movies, yeah, and Happy Madison
Oh wow, is that out?
I think so.
Man, I want to watch that. Sounds interesting.
I don't, but I must.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm at with that.
I feel
I
that.
simply must. I need to know this information. I need to fucking pollute my brain and, you know, not know something useful, because I gotta see someone do a documentary on this, because am I interested in seeing like someone just half-assed talk about it? No. Am I interested in, like, hopefully they put a lot of effort into this?
Oh yeah, that's.
You know, I want some fucking maths and shit, some geometry involved in this.
Cause like, man, I gotta say, like I remember like when I was watching The Waterboy, like I remember nearly every line, and considering I haven't seen that movie in like 20 years, like that's ingrained. I used to watch those movies so often when I was young, because like that Sandler's comedy was just spot on for like teens.
You a stoned teenager?
I didn't even smoke weed back then.
Yeah, I was.
But like add weed into the mix and fuck yeah, it would have been amazing.
No, because I haven't seen much of like, I haven't seen those over and over again. I've seen Happy Gilmore like a million fucking times. But like there is one bit from like Waterboy that's just because I was really baked, it's just like, you see these things with like a baked brain, it just like, yes, that's going into the forever folder. It's just the bit where, like, you know, Henry Winkler first starts getting him to, like, channel his anger. And there's just that line of all the fucking football players with Henry Winkler's head singing, "The water sucks. It really, really sucks." And just that's just fucking slipped into a wrinkle.
Yeah, because he
It's
goes,
like-
he goes, "Hey, Bobby, water sucks. Gatorade's better." And he's like, "What, coach? Just use it out there." Oh, Gatorade tastes better and also quenches your thirst better.
Oh,
H2O. Gatorade.
Whole fucking career are just weird voices.
I know. Like that, I think The Waterboy is one of the only movies where the like retard voice works because of the upbringing of the character.
It actually, yeah.
And
it
like when
actually
you meet
has
his dad
some
at the
kind of
end, when his
relevance,
dad kind of
yeah.
shows up to like cash in on his son, and his dad's like without a doubt completely retarded, and you're like, oh,
Like,
this poor kid like in the
whereas, like,
Louisiana
little-
swamp.
yeah, little Nicky would have been a lot better without it. Just like hit me in the face with a shovel. It's like, all right, that could have been a minute. You know, you didn't need to do this for the whole damn thing. He's still doing it though.
Yeah,
Like
of
that
course he
was
does.
what fucking, you know.
He's made a career on it. Why would you stop?
Yeah.
Until someone like says, "Hey, dude, can't do that." Not even then.
No one's got. It's grandfathered in.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
And just no one cares, because you know, people look like, oh, they're not real movies. Who gives a shit?
Did they ever catch that gorilla that escaped from the zoo and give you that black eye?
Adam Sandler's weird unemployment program for his friends.
Fucking give me a job, Sandler. I'll be in your movies. You can do whatever you want to me. I don't care. I'd kill. Like it's like how I was when I was listening to Steve-O's podcast and he was talking about the sort of process of getting new people into Jackass, like the new cast members. And was like, he's like, yeah, we paid them nothing. We paid them like the lowest possible
Really
amount we
funny
could
scale.
because he's like literally like everyone around the world would line up to be in that
Yeah.
movie for free. He's like, so you can't just like give out fucking shitloads of money for people. And like for like
Yeah, that's a fair point, actually. I mean, like, also, like, a lot of those people were doing shit on the internet for ages for, you know... Like, I remember when that, like, Zach dude was, like, first showing up, like, you know, getting tased and covered in fucking firecrackers and shit, like...
dude, Poopies, fucking the episode on Steve-O's podcast with Poopies is so fucking good. Finding out like the origin of the name Poopies and how it kind of stuck, and he got really upset that it stuck because he started going to school and everyone started calling him Poopies. And it's just like,
I love that it's, like, from school. That's the funniest part. It is, like, because, yeah, the movie just says, it's like, this is Poopies. And unlike a lot of this, it's like, I actually have follow-up questions to that, and you never get answers. We call him this because... Nope.
just Poopies.
Nope. There's no follow-up. There's no more information. And really, you know, you're foolish for asking. Like, do you really want to know, you know? What do you think it is? What do you think it involves?
So I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think he took a shit somewhere.
I mean, I'm no scientist, but that would be my theory.
Like how Dave England took a shit on Steve-O's table at the end of his podcast. It's just like, why, Dave? Why not? Okay, fair enough.
I mean, did you get a bonus for that?
Probably not.
I mean,
It's
I can understand a lot of things, but like doing that on stage and then falling into it. You know, it's like, all right, that's a stage show. You gotta bust out the big guns. This is the problem, man. It was just like, you know, I remember it was like 2001, and like my fucking friend had DSL, and so it could download videos off the internet, which was...
Slow down.
I know, which fucking... Like 2001, man. This shit is madness. And I mean like large video, you know, not like, oh yeah, I go to E-Baum's world and we'll see a thing move for a second, you know. I'm like... They're down, because he was like, oh, I gotta show you this. I was like, what is it? He's like, oh, it's like fucking this American clip of an American thing called Jackass, where this guy is, just watch this. And it's just the man taking a shit while running at full speed.
I do fucking, there was a sketch that they never aired that I'm really sad they didn't. And it was, I think it was Dave England, or if it was Aaron, one of the two of them, and they were set up to be like, you know, a character fucking artist, sketch artist, and this old lady came up to get like a portrait done, and they just drew like saggy tits and like vagina, and
that's fun. Like, I do like that as a concept. Like, yeah, we'll be like a, you know, fun caricature, but then just go way too far.
And like, I can't remember her reaction, but it was something just like, oh dear, that is just like it was just really funny, but like there was no way in hell they were getting that on TV that early, like especially at the time.
Yeah.
Because like they struggled to get, like, if Spike Jonze did not get involved, Jackass would not have been a thing. Because he was the one who was like, no, look, we got to like do this, and they took it to like a few places, and it didn't get to anywhere. Everyone kind of knocked them back, and
which, I mean, look, fair.
Yeah, I get it, but like then MTV was like, we'll take it, and I was like, boom.
It was like, it was the. I mean, it was probably around the same time as, like, the rise of MTV's reality shit. Which is a shame, because, like, you know, that's sort of, like,
I always find it really funny when you, like, stories of things that get passed over, and then someone capitalizes on it.
The Home Alone one's still a classic, for the absolutely staggering amount of fucking money.
That's a great, like, go watch that on Netflix if you haven't seen it.
The movies that made us.
Yeah, the Home Alone episode's fantastic. It is one of the most astonishing stories of Hollywood you will ever fucking
Can I have, like, just an extra couple of million to finish this movie that we're halfway done with? This won't make any money, it's dumb, go away. And then someone rolled up with, like, yeah, here you go, finish your film. And it...
Like gangbusters.
Again, it still makes money.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the way the fucking Friends cast make more money off their fucking residuals than they do off, like, other shit they do. And that's including, like, the successful Friends, you know?
Well, the, Slipknot, the band, they were originally going to be signed to Sony. And then Sony saw a live show and they were like, no, fucking no.
That's a whole
thing. Was bizarre because, like, Slipknot were known for their live shows. The amount of, like, energy and just, like, there was nothing like it at the time. There was no other crowd that fucking vibed as much to that music. And you'd think that after seeing a show like that, you'd be like, holy shit, we need these people.
We can get these people to pay money for albums.
Yeah, but no. And then they were just like, oh, you fucking fucked that up, didn't you? Good work.
Yeah, like, because I was only peripherally aware of, like, Slipknot for most of my life. So it was just like, it was after school for me, so, like, I wasn't in any situation to be around what you may call, like, any position to have my finger on any kind of pulse.
Right, yeah.
And music was never, like, a major area of interest anyway, so it's just like, alright, there's another band. But I'm willing to bet they probably made an obscene amount of fucking money.
Oh, yeah, dude, 100%. Like, they just...
I think, like, fucking every fucking 14-year-old in, like, had that first Slipknot album.
Oh yeah, it was huge. The fucking number plate in front of us says Shatzzy, and that's very funny. Like, I don't think it's supposed to be Shatzzy, but it says Shatzzy.
It is Shatzzy. It's like,
like, what is that even supposed to be? Shatze.
It feels like Shazza went in there, and then, like, you know, the whole Marge thing of we do have Nitzy. It's like Marge becomes Nitzy, and so, you know, this poor woman's been sold on Shatzzy. Shatzzy.
Oh, awful name.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking... I think you just don't think about it. It's like, oh yeah, like that fucking one album that I kept seeing in every fucking bedroom. It was like, yeah, it really translates to fucking money. Like, so someone go fucking, you know.
Someone got paid.
Yeah, hopefully some artists actually made some fucking money off of that shit.
Because, like, back then, it was insane. Like, to do any sort of music production was like, do you know anyone who's like a producer or anything? No? Okay. Spend $40,000 plus for a demo. What's a demo? 2 to 3 songs.
Will I get that money back?
No.
Oh, heavens no.
And now it's like you can record this shit on your phone.
I know, like, it's like, I do there are elements of it that I do miss, but those are elements, and like again, like the alternative world that we live in now is so much fucking better.
Yeah.
It's like,
Because
look,
people can actually get funded and create things.
well, I mean, yeah, they don't even need fucking funding sometimes. It's like,
a lot of the
just
time, no,
fucking,
yeah.
you know. It's like, is there a lot of shit? Yeah, but like with an explosion of fucking access, the fucking thing's gonna go up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, there is a ton of garbage on Steam, but there's also like loads of good things that never would have fucking gotten anywhere, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Without like this insane,
Like-
weirdly convenient digital distribution.
Dude,
platform.
back in the day, like, I can tell you right now, viewer at home, there are probably about 90%, there is the quota of about 90%, there are games that have been cancelled that you don't even know about. No one knows about. The amount of like production that got cancelled and stuff, like I watched Did You Know Gaming recently on a retro project where they were doing Zelda, but it wasn't Zelda. And it turns out Nintendo stole most of that for Breath of the Wild.
Legend of Zelda.
So they were making a game, and it wasn't really a Zelda game. It kind of used the properties of it, like, you know, the setting and everything, some of the characters, but it wasn't going to be a traditional Zelda-style game. And apparently the combat, like the gameplay of it was just the worst. The worst thing ever, and everyone that kind of went up to Retro was like, to their leadership was like, this is bad. Like, why are we doing this? This is like really bad. And a lot of their talent left the company over it because leadership were like, no, it's fucking good. What do you mean? And then they took it to Nintendo, and Nintendo instantly were like, no, this is awful. Because like apparently it was just like you got surrounded by enemies, and it was just like a contextual thing of like attack, attack, attack. You know, like there was no
Actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, I will still defend, like, the context stuff, because I think it can be done well.
Oh, 100%.
But, like, like everything else, after, like, particularly God of War caused another boom of it because they added it to boss fights, and it's like, after that, it was just like, okay, like, I don't want to make, like, a combat engine that's fun.
Yeah.
I just want to animate some stuff, and then we can call it a day.
So a lot of the ideas there got actually like from shoehorned into Breath of the Wild story-wise, which I find very fascinating.
What's it now? Tear of a civilization, or tier of a civilization? Tier of a kingdom. Is it tier or tear? We'll never know.
I think it's tier.
It'll be one of those things where it could be like both.
Rip
The kingdom's
tear
sad.
of the kingdom.
Yeah, the kingdom's sad, but also it's been torn apart.
You know what I think it's gonna relate to is the Sheikah fucking things. You know how on the first one, how those like the drops came out of the thing?
Yeah.
And that's like, if you look at the Sheikah symbol, the bottom of it essentially, like we've always thought it was like a handle, you know, for like the lens of truth and shit. But it's a tier. It's like,
Tiers represent DLC.
I wonder if it's going to be like cyclical, the timeline.
I really hope that they fucking, I don't know, I mean, they're not going to, but I wish to Christ that thing could get released on whatever the next Nintendo console is, because, that's going to struggle to run.
I don't think it's going to be a bad game. I think it's just going to be a bad game like the first one. Like, it's just...
I mean, if they insist on doing the fucking weird thing that they did the first time around.
I don't know. I hope I'm fucking wrong. I hope I am, because I don't the way the Zelda formula is going is just so radically away from the traditional formula that it's not the game I enjoy anymore. And if you enjoy it, that's cool. Good for you. That's awesome. It's just not something I like.
I don't like piecemeal crap.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm okay with a bowl of rice. Don't feed me like 100 fucking separate grains. That's just annoying. It's like, when you have a bowl of rice, then you've got rice as a food. When you separate it into its individual grains, it's not fun. You can say that there's the same amount of rice, and I'm like, yeah, but like, the experience has not been enjoyable. It's like you could have that and some other shit, Maybe, it's fine to maybe not make it as fucking open. It doesn't need to be.
No, it really doesn't. It doesn't add anything.
What if I want to go over here? Fucking put a goddamn wall of magic in the fucking way. Put high-level enemies there. That's what we've been doing since the dawn of time.
Stone's Corner.
I've been playing through the Mega Mans. Well, not Mega Mans exactly, but like they're called roll chans because someone like did a ROM hack and swapped all the palette and has made a very complete and enjoyable roll chan experience. But like, the more I think about it, because they had that modern Mega Man game, which is all right, but they kind of did the thing where it's like you kind of like they, you know, it's one of those game styles that sort of struggled a little in the modern era. Where it's like, all right, you know, you can't just sort of release a game with like, here's 8 stages, have fun. Because like, all right, that's you know, fucking we've evolved, we've moved on a little bit. And so they had this, you know, you kind of got to grind a little. Like, you know, you're not expected to necessarily beat a stage without having unlocked some stuff and bought some, you know, not like permanent power-ups either. You know, they've got like some of the energy tank things, but like, you know, it's the not fun kind of almost roguelike shit. Whereas like, really that entire game series would be so much better as like a Metroidvania. Because all the stealing the fucking robots' powers and shit is really cool and would have shitloads of applications if it were a fucking Metroidvania series. Because as it is, Mega Man 1, it's like, there's like, what is it? It's Gutsman's got like the thing that picks up the rocks. And it's like, alright, that's cool. Where else has rocks? Elecman stage. And it's like, okay. You know, I think there's like one other area that has like, you know, because it's a fucking NES game. They're not going to fucking...
Yeah.
Whereas if you take that concept of like, you get a robot's power, not only do you get an attack, but you get something else that does that Metroidvania thing of like, it unlocks areas, it provides movement, it does something. Because so many of these games that I've been playing through, like the Mega Man X's, the Mega Mans, you know, and you get the fucking weapon and it's like, oh cool, what does this do? It's super useful for one boss, and then that's it. Alright.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get enough like fucking power for it to just use it. So it's like, alright, well I don't want to use it just in case I might really need it. And it's like, alright, and then, you know, in Mega Man X you can get some extra shit that give you super versions of it, and that's cool, but then also like, alright, well that's gone. You know, you get maybe a few of those, and then you can't use it again. Whereas like, if they were just regular fucking permanent power-ups that didn't require fucking energy, it's like, alright, maybe have a thing so you gotta like, you know, use the super version of it. But like, if you could just use it like a regular fucking weapon, and then have, like, again, areas built with, like, oh yeah, this has got shit that's vulnerable to, like, maybe some fire or something, and there's walls of ice you can melt with, like, fucking flame elephants fucking bullshit. Like, then you'd have something. You know, and they kind of have that as it is. It's like, oh yeah, go back to fucking, you know, what is these, Dr. Light's lab, except rather than, like, you know, walk a fucking place, it's just like a little thing on a, you know, an option that you select. Oh, okay, go back to the thing. It's like, you know, this is not a form that's working, and it's really kind of wasting the fucking you stole this cunt's ability, you know, theme.
Yeah.
It's like you could do so much if you treat it like that fucking Metroidvania thing. It's like, oh yeah, now you could have lots of shit. Like, yeah, you stole Birdface's fucking wings, and now you've got like a fucking that's like that thing in fucking Castlevania where you just jump right the fuck up. You can finally explore everywhere. Just fit it so fucking perfectly. And there are lots of Metroidvania games, but there are never enough.
There's a 50 Cent song, and it went, many men wish death upon me, and I just it's always been Mega Man, wish death upon me, and it's like sang from like the point of like one of the robot monsters.
You got scent cutter.
You got galloping antelope. Huh?
Because Mega Man, they were all humanoid, but then Mega Man X, they were all animals.
Yeah.
And then all the fucking villains in Metal Gear Solid 2 sounded like Mega Man X villains. You got fucking Silent Wasp, or whatever that dude's name was.
Some of those names were fucking insane, dude.
The Pain.
Psycho Mantis.
Psycho Mantis, that's right. Like, that sounds like a Mega Man thing.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Like, it's a mantis that uses telepathy and telekinesis. Okay.
Unique pizza and pasta cafe. That's a fucking
That's
awful name.
fantastic.
What's unique about it?
I know.
guarantee there's nothing fucking unique about it.
I mean, and the thing is like, I'm not ordering a pizza for a fucking avant-garde dining experience, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I order a pizza because I want a fucking pizza. I don't want, you know, like, oh yeah, here's a pizza with a live squid on it. It's like, oh, this is more adventurous than I was really hoping for. Going on a trip to the hospital to maybe get fucking one of the problems you've got fixed.
Yeah,
If we could at least just knock out one.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Is that what we're doing, or have you just been driving forward?
I've been driving forward.
Alright, I don't think we're supposed to be in here.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
it's
okay if
fine.
we drive through here, but like,
We're not supposed to
some
like
fucking
stop
Resident
and
Evil
get
looking
out
shit.
and be- Yeah, this is where they're like cooking up some fucking T-virus.
yeah, this is like one of the
What
hospitals.
the fuck
This
is that
the,
building?
The PA.
It's insane. Oh shit, sorry people.
It's where they keep the fucking liquors.
I don't believe it. Dude, that shit looks like a fucking evil company. Look at it. What try? And it's got like a symbol that looks like very
have to
fucking
go around this
umbrella-ish. Yeah, I'm just fucking. It's kind of hard because like.
This is great. I know, it's just completely blind.
Blind eye, yeah. Why are there so many vans here? Oh shit! I fucking.
It's their mating season.
Oh, now we're at the geriatric fucking rehab.
You know what the best part is?
I gotta give way to you. Go.
We're at the geriatric rehab. Literally, this is the geriatric rehab. And there was a sign to my left that just said swooping magpies in this area. Like
That's
there
so
it is,
funny,
like,
yeah. Geriatric and rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Fuck!
Please, no. Like, that, I could sit here for a day just to see that happen. Like, well, gotta get these old people from the rehab center to, like, the fucking place with the MRI. Better get them past the birds that try to attack the faces. Like, that is fucking perfect.
Dementia Healthcare Museum. What?
No, it's not dementia, it's Diamantina.
Oh.
I know, because, like, that fucked me up the first time I saw it, too. I was like, what the fuck? Because, like, dementia makes more sense than Diamantina.
What the fuck is a Diamantina?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up when I go
Maybe it's a
home.
person?
Yeah, the diamond. Yeah, it's a diamond. Yeah. Oh no, it's got to be a person. It's got to be a name.
Yeah.
But yeah, because your brain sees that, and you're never gonna think, oh yeah, diamantina. You're gonna go, no, it's dementia because you're in a hospital. And you know, maybe the geriatrics are getting rehabilitated because of the magpies.
The magpies put them in there.
That's so fucking great. Like, what's the last? Like, it's like them and like, oh yeah, here's the bit of the hospital. We just put the babies outside to get some sun.
I just love that it's magpies in the middle of a hospital because we just drove through like a hospital. So like it's the whole surrounding area.
I feel like that's one of those ones where you could just fuck them off.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You know, because if they were just down here, you'd be like, oh, yeah,
okay, yeah, fair enough. But that was the middle of the
Yeah,
hospital.
dead center of the hospital.
Fucking concrete, left, right, center.
And like, literally a place where the most vulnerable old people have to go. Like, that's fucking great.
Well, the magpies
The ones
were
that
here
can't,
first.
yeah, the ones that you guarantee cannot run away.
Yeah, yeah. That's why the magpies are there.
Yeah.
You know? Free meat.
Old people hair makes the best nest lining. Ah! Magpies swooping in this area. Old people who can't run sitting in this area. It has to happen. Like, there's no way. Like, if they got the signs up saying, hey, look out, watch your head.
It's happening.
Like,
That's, that blows my mind. You'd get animal control in and move them. Like, surely.
I mean, again, like, I understand, like, you know, again, I'm not talking about, like, fucking let's disrupt the whole fucking thing, but again,
No.
there's, like, how many magpies are nesting there that it's fucking vital to the species of magpies, you know?
The answer is 0.
Yeah, like, that's like, what, like, fucking maybe 5 or 6, fuck them. I'll fight them. I don't even give a shit.
There's
I'm happy to
plenty of
relocate,
other
like,
places.
fucking, yeah, I'm happy to relocate, like, endangered things and all that stuff.
These
Happy
are
for-
magpies.
Yeah, I'm happy for all that, yeah, we're
We've
not
got
out
no
of
shortage
magpies,
of
yeah.
those. It's not like we're baking delicious magpies.
Or, like, fucking, I
So
don't
it
know.
makes sense.
Bribe them, feed them some fucking ham.
It annoys
Like,
me that they don't make magpies out of magpies.
It's probably in that category of like chicken-shaped things, but that don't taste good, so we don't
probably
eat
is
them.
fucking disgusting. Ugh.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to eat like just
Probably crawling with like disease.
yeah. Like, I don't want to eat just like some bird.
No.
Like, especially because we've been like putting in the fucking yards, effectively like intelligently designing a more delicious chicken. you know? And like, I don't want to, I don't want to fucking just eat a weird thing
No,
that's
no
trying
one
to
does.
survive, you know? Like the fucking chicken's got enormous, tits and can't fucking do anything else. So it's like, might as well eat it.
Yeah.
Magpie is like lean, angry, full of old people meat. And it's not gonna get fixed.
See it,
Yeah,
Dad.
it's not gonna get fixed because it's not like, a kid's getting mauled by dingoes.
Yeah.
It's just old people getting pecked. And that's what makes it so fucking good because it's so annoying, but it's not lethal.
No. I mean, to some of these old people, it might be. Might fall down.
A sudden explosion of angry fucking black and white feathers on your head can't be good for the heart when you're
God,
at that
no.
age. Like, getting... Fucking stop it. So help me God, I'll grab one of you and eat you in front of the others as a fucking threat. Don't pretend like you don't understand what that means either. Animals understand eating one of their friends in front of them as a threat, and birds particularly. I mean, if birds can recognize you and remember you and fucking hate you for generations, then, it's like, yeah, maybe don't fucking, attack my head in future. They will have to have another sign-up eventually of, like, people watching old people getting pecked in this area. Make it a thing, when people go see, like, the dolphins and shit.
Yeah.
This is part of the day where we wheel the elderly out to get a bit of sun and to get some of the fresh air blowing through their lungs and to stimulate their desire to survive by having them attacked by birds. Puts a bit of fight in them. Nothing reminds you of why you're here more than something else trying to make you not here.
Oh God, one of them got in the ward. It's fucking flying from bed to bed.
It's like the funniest fucking thing to me is not incredibly, like, not like disabled, but just one of those old dudes whose knees and ankles aren't great, getting like attacked by a goose or a swan or something. It's just the funniest fucking thing. Because the thing can't kill him. But it's still, like, it's not pleasant. There's a bunch of feathers and a pointy bit, and it's just, you're being harangued. And I fall over sometimes, and the swan can't kill him, so it's just sort of there, and the old guy's on the ground going, ah! And it's just the fucking best. Like, one of the hardest, like, my abs cramp just thinking about the time fucking... A friend of mine got out of the car to go look at, like, bird chicks, and it was like plovers, and then he gets, because we can't see the parents, and I'm like, that's not a good idea, and he gets out and walks through this hill, and then the two plovers come over the hill and just see some fucking 15-year-old moving toward their fucking kids, and they're a pile of dicks when you're like 100 meters away from their stupid fucking children. They went fucking ape shit on it. Like, murder. Immediate, like, just murder time. And him turning around and screaming, and I'm already in tears, and bolting back to the car. And as he's running toward the door, seeing his mother's hand go dunk and just hit the lock, and just watching him slam into the door, screaming and yanking on the fucking thing, and then realizing that the birds are now on his head, and he has to, like, bolt around. And so there's just this great fucking combination of, like, 15-year-old and birds just dancing around this car, like, just begging for it to end in any way. And, again, he's not dead. I don't think he was even really scratched. But he's angry because he knows that this is being done at his expense. He's doubly angry because it's his mum. Me, his mother, his little sister, just in the car, dying.
It's your own fault.
Yeah, I mean, like, we all said this was a bad idea, What did you think was going to happen? Again, these animals are fucking jerks. when you're not like literally approaching their children. Fucking goddamn cunts parked our wheelie bin in, so now they didn't take our fucking recycling.
So fucking...
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call the council about that because it's like we can't wait. I can't last another 2 weeks, man. You know?
That's ridiculous.
Like I don't think any of these ones that are still out got taken, which is like
that's insane.
Oh yeah, it's because I think there's a fucking Jesus cage around. So like on Sunday mornings, like the ball sacks like fucking all park here, so they can go, go fucking I don't know, sit in a shed with him.
Fucking Jesus.
All right, well that's been driving around today. We went and saw the edge of Brisbane, a place called Cleveland, where the water cleaves into the land.